Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by FreshBooks, the super simple cloud accounting software that's giving thousands of freelancers and small businesses the tools to save time billing and get paid faster. Try it free at freshbooks.com/AAA. And by the Ring Video Doorbell. With Ring, you can see and talk to anyone at your door from anywhere in the world using your smartphone. It's like caller ID for your home. Go to ring.com/allaboutandroid and get up to $150 off a Ring of Security kit with their limited time offer. And by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service that offers over 1,500 documentaries and nonfiction series from the world's best filmmakers. Get unlimited access starting at just $2.99 a month. And for our audience, the first 2 months are completely free if you sign up at curiositystream.com/twit and use the offer code TWIT. Hello and welcome to another episode of All About Android. This is episode 296, recorded on Tuesday, December 13th, 2016. We're your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
And I'm Ron Richards. At some point, I'm Ron Richards.
There we go. And Flo, we need you back, Flo. Come back to us. Get out of Daydream. What are you doing?
Sorry.
We just started a show, Flo.
I was really into my Daydream.
Apparently.
You got to unplug. I know it's comfortable. I know it's that heather gray sweatpant material that's so comfortable, but yeah.
You guys, you know how fun it is to take NyQuil and use Daydream?
Well, I do now. Apparently I know
FYI.
I know what I'm doing this weekend. Welcoming back to the show, a guy that you're watching on the internet, of course, no doubt. It's Mark Burstener. How's it going, Mark?
It's good. It's going well. It's going quite well. How are you guys?
We're great. It looks like you had a party at your house or something. You've got a banner flying in the background.
We just moved and we're just throwing decorations up willy-nilly. It's a party in this home frequently.
Excellent.
It's a
always
party.
have to be prepared. Yeah, in Chicago.
I like where it's beginning. Did you just move to Chicago or have you been there for a while?
We were in Chicago. We moved to Southern California. We moved back to Chicago. Chicago has a strong hold on us, it seems.
Chicago. That's how my dad says it, by the way.
Chicago.
He says Chicago.
I've always wanted to visit Chicago.
You've never been to Chicago?
No, there's a lot of places I've never been.
Oh, you gotta go, Jason.
I like Chicago. I
the
really
pizza
do.
alone is worth it.
Oh, that alone is enough to get me there someday, hopefully. Maybe I'll be crashing on your couch, Mark. I don't know.
Oh, dude, by all means.
Okay.
It's called Couch Island. It's very comfortable. It's a sectional that we keep as a square.
Excellent. I don't require much, just a blanket, really, and a floor. Something to lay down on so I don't have to sleep standing, basically. Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
It's great to have you back.
Thanks.
Which, by the way, you had a review of the Pixel on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Mark Burstener, which I imagine makes sense because that's your name.
Yes, that's my name. It's a long I. I realize that's confusing because there's no IE.
Bursteiner?
Yeah, Bursteiner. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Mark.
It's totally okay. It's my whole life.
Yeah, I know. I'm just one of a series of people that mispronounce your name.
It's true. It's totally okay.
All right. Well, it's great to have you here. We got a lot of things to talk about. I say things because that's one of the things we're going to talk about. Android things. Actions on Google. Samsung's crippling Note 7 software update coming soon to a Note 7 near you if you still have it.
Crippling a Note 7 near you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Possibly yours.
You missed it. Sorry.
Gboard. It's okay. Gboard for Android. Watching movies in virtual Daydream theaters. Also, I found out playing games in Daydream as well as a whole lot more. But we have on the controls, I'll give you a little bit of time. I'll say that Mr. The Mac and Josh is with us today. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Are you feeling your vocal cords are warmed up? Are you ready?
I got to do my scales.
Yes, exactly. I didn't hear the scales while we were talking, so I was a little worried.
Move your lips. Wee woo.
Rubber bumper, baby
Rubber
baby,
baby
rubber baby
bumper,
bumper.
bumper.
The
something.
arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
Ooh.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
I haven't heard that one before. The
Yes.
arsonist. Is
The
that
Human
about?
Torch was denied a bank loan.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Unique New York. Unique New
That's a
York.
good one too.
I
All
don't know, I
right.
just think those are all original.
No, I'm just impressed that you had them just to throw out at random. That's awesome.
All right.
Josh, Mr. The Mac and Josh, it's time for the news.
It's almost time to go home. Google Home for the holidays with Android News.
Very good.
That was
That was so good. I'm really proud of
bravo. That was
awesome.
Brian. That was Cranky Hippo level
Yeah.
Android
I know.
News bumper.
I'm telling
Good job,
you,
Mac and
Josh
Well
brings
done.
it. He
good.
he worries about it all day long, but then when he does it, he delivers.
Yeah,
I'm
you should
impressed.
worry about it.
I do worry about it.
So, especially when you're introducing a segment talking about Google Home and Internet of Things and all that great stuff.
Yes.
First, to kick things off, this isn't so much news, but we've been talking a lot internally in the All About Android chat about our Google Homes and how we're using it. And it's the holiday season, and you see behind me my little mini Christmas tree. You also see my little Google Home. We're gonna do a live demo. All right. This is what I did this weekend. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the Christmas tree lights with Google Home. You
No,
guys
you're
ready?
not. That's impossible.
I am. You ready? Okay. Okay, Google. Turn off the Christmas tree inside.
Sure, turn the Christmas tree.
No, that just happened. Oh my God.
How cool is that?
Spectacular.
It's magic.
So I went on a little Internet of Things explosion last week. I ordered the Samsung Smart Things kit, which we've shown off on the show before, and they sponsored episodes.
That's right.
So I got the Smart Things hub. I got a couple of smart outlets. I got a Christmas tree in the living room. I got a Christmas tree out on the patio, and I set them up. So now I just tell Google Home, turn them on and off, and it works flawlessly. So I'm going to turn it back on. You ready?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Google. Turn on the Christmas tree inside.
Okay, turn it
No, my God, it happened again, but in
That's
reverse.
so cool. That's really cool.
When
isn't it?
Ron told me about this over email, I was like, what? In real life.
So, Ron, does this only work for you, or does this work for other Google homeowners as well?
Well, I mean, I'm the only Google homeowner in my home. I mean, me and my girlfriend are the only ones here. I haven't opened my doors up to the neighborhood to let everyone try. But now here's what I found. These are my findings. I had to set up Smart Things, and then I set up Google Assistant. I set up like a little. I didn't use IFTT because Smart Things connects directly to Google Assistant. I gave that outlet a nickname, and I called it Christmas Tree Inside. And if I say anything else, turn on the Christmas lights inside, it won't work. Like, you got to get the phrase correct.
Yeah.
The other thing I found is that the Smart Things smart outlet doesn't always like to stay connected to the hub, which is not the fault of Google Home. What I find is that sometimes it just kind of goes away in the ether and it doesn't respond either through Google Home or through the Smart Things app. I've done some research. It has to do with the smart outlet and line of sight to the hub and within range and things like that. But that said, I'm getting about 85-90% success rate, so which I think is pretty good. So I was gonna say, for the outside tree, which you can't see from here, I got a GE outdoor wireless Z-Wave outlet that connected to Smart Things, and then just set it up the same way through Assistant.
Wow.
So
That was going to be one of my questions is if that's the inside tree, you must have an outside tree. So
I like
Yes,
that Ron has an outside tree, by the way.
yeah,
well, that's the thing. We have. I mean, we're in a small New York apartment, and we got a nice 5-foot tree we put on the patio, put twinkle lights on. But then I was like, I need a tree inside, so I got the little Charlie Brown tree.
nice. That's awesome. I over Black Friday found a really good deal on the Hue Lights hub with the 3 color bulbs. I think it's second generation. I had a gift certificate for Best Buy and the sale, so I ended up getting the whole package for like $70. Normally it's like $200.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. I've always wanted to get Hue Lights. Hue Lights work with Google Home. So now, in my living room, I have 2 of the lights set up in our 2 different lamps, and I can say, turn living room lights red, or turn down brightness by 30% or whatever. I can control. And when you do it, it works, and it works.
It's so
almost
cool.
every time. It's just it's like magic. It's
awesome.
awesome.
Funny because when we were talking about it, Flo was like, "Oh my God, take a video and we'll show it on the show." And I was like, "No, I'm going to do it live." And
We're doing it
literally
live.
for the past 3 days, I've been like, "Oh my God, please work, please work, please work." So I'm glad that it did work and that it didn't, And I've seen the hue lights in action and they just look super cool. I don't have them yet because of the lighting in our apartment, that sort of thing.
Hue lights are awesome.
But I mean, it took me 5 minutes to set up. I mean, the biggest pain in the butt was getting the smart outlet to connect to the SmartThings hub. That was the only problem I ran into. The actual setting up the connection, it just wasn't seeing it for a little. I had to walk away and then come back and try. But the Google Home integration was awesome, and it's I can rename that tree whatever I want to call it. I could call it turn the lights on, turn the living room on. I can do what the trigger word is, and it responds. It's very polite, and it just works. That's what's cool.
It's very polite. That's very important. That's an important part of it. I'm curious though, like how frequently do you try to do something and you go, oh well, I guess I can't do that yet?
In what sense?
Like you say something to it and it does the opposite of what has just happened on screen with the tree. You ask and it's like, ugh, I don't know how to do that just yet.
I mean, every now and then. I mean, with Google Home, I'm finding. You find the limits of it real quickly. Like there's been a couple of times where I've asked it 3 or 4 times, and like the first answer is, "I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that yet," or "I'm still learning," and that sort of thing. And you kind of, but I'm at the point now after having the Google Home for a month and a half now, I think, where I use it for kitchen timers when I'm cooking, I'm playing and controlling music. Now with the home integration, and what are a little bit of news that we're talking about here is the fact that an update is hitting the Google Home app, which is going to enable Netflix and Google Photos voice command. So you'll be able to link your Netflix account, and if you're attached to a Chromecast enabled monitor, you can control Netflix with the Google Home, which is pretty cool. Like this is Flo. Remember when you were complaining about Google Home and how it didn't do anything?
Yeah.
Things are going to start happening.
Yeah, right now the thing I use it the most for is podcasts and news.
Right.
Which, to be quite honest, makes me very, very I love it.
Yeah.
The weather cracks me up. So for you guys with the weather, does it give you your city and your zip code?
No. It just gives me the city.
Okay. Listen to this. You guys can hear my Google Home okay? It was loud enough?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Google, what's the weather?
In Long Island City, New York 11101. It's 42 and clouds.
Why does it?
I don't know why it tells me the city, the state, and the zip code. I need to look at that. So
Is
that like a New York City thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. Whenever we say where we live, we say the whole city, state, zip code. It's important every time.
I mean, is it possible in the home app to define what home is, and maybe you have it defined with a zip code versus just like
Sounds like an existential question.
That's a good question.
Look
Let me
into
see.
your mind.
Or,
Yeah, I
maybe,
don't
or,
know.
maybe it's just using device address. It has my full address because I entered my home into my Google account.
Okay.
So,
but I have the same thing in my Google account, and for me, it just says.
That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't get that specific with it, but
yeah. I also to solve the multi-account user problem, I changed the nickname to my account, both my girlfriend and my name. So it says hi in both our names.
Oh, that's so nice and inclusive. I love that.
I know, right? I just deactivated mine because I mean, it might be handy to me, but I've got 2 very unpredictable kids who could wreak havoc on all of my Google account if I left it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send
Google
Home to Big Bird.
Google Home in the wild. It's pretty cool. It works. I'm loving it. So.
Yeah, and especially as we're starting to kind of play around with not just the informational aspects of it, but using it as a hub to kind of control certain things in your home. What little I've done with it in that regard just makes me want to do so much more, and we're going to start seeing more and more collaboration with hardware manufacturers coming out, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Google is, in other news, rebranding its IoT-focused Android called Project Brillo, which I never really thought Brillo was a very great name for this anyways.
Terrible name.
To Android Things. So it's a new Android blank that they have in their arsenal called Android Things. Google also announced a developer preview with support for Intel Edison, NXP Pico, Raspberry Pi 3. So if you have that hardware, and there's also a few more supported pieces of hardware that you can use to kind of start developing IoT devices using Android Things. And yeah, Google's building its infrastructure for updates. So Google is going to be managing the updates in a similar way that they do with Android Wear. So it's coming directly from them. And if we know anything about IoT, especially what's been in the news lately, IoT has a little bit of a security problem, with things like the Mirai botnet and all that kind of stuff. So getting those updates on a regular basis from Google as they're discovered and required, that's a great thing for IoT security.
We're headed towards our own code as you must or whatever, or set up as you must. Or at least that's how I feel, like future. Like, it just set up the way you want it. Let me elaborate more with this next news item before I make absolutely no sense.
Yeah, that makes, I like
my
that
thought
idea
came
a lot.
before the news item.
Which is a great segue into...
So Google has opened the doors for developers to start creating their own conversation actions, which is exactly what you were talking about earlier, Jason, for Assistant and Google Home. Of course, this makes us all very happy because this will allow devs to bring their services to the platform someday in the future. Of course, that's all dependent on them. But the good news is that there are already partners that have been announced. They've been seeded sort of this beta version of these conversation actions that includes Lonely Planet, Quora, BuzzFeed, Yahoo Food Network, CNN,
WebMD, that'll be a
Todoist.
handy one.
Oh, WebMD. Yeah. I don't know if WebMD is going to be a good one because you'd be like, Google Home, am I dying?
Well, it'd be good
What are
for
your
me.
ailments?
It'd be good for me. The other night,
My
I
nose
realized
is
how
running.
bad I am in case of someone almost cutting their finger off with a knife.
Oh,
My-
my
I
my-
just want to point out
Jeez.
on this
So I need
list-
help.
I will say there is Domino's integration coming, which makes
that's
me
good. You
very
can order a
excited
pizza?
because now I can finally order a pizza, which
Well,
I've been
are we
asking
the same
for.
person?
Huh?
Are we the same person? Because I'm always really impressed with Domino's software. They have like an Android Wear app. They update regularly, and for like 2 months in California, I was just straight up. didn't
Domino's
have
is
time
good in
to adjust.
California. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the sauce here. I don't know what it is. It's just so much
I
better
mean, what
here.
else are you gonna do for pizza in California? But still, like I
Yeah,
was
I
able
mean,
to just
pizza here
frequently
sucks.
order pizza from here. Now we can ask our phone to order us pizza. Domino's has been leading the front on Internet of Things. Pizza
Now,
ordering.
if only Domino's would open source that software and let real pizza places use it, as opposed
If
to whatever
only.
they call
If
that
only.
pizza.
I feel like what you're saying is there's no better pizza than Domino's in California, and you are wrong.
Yeah, I know, right?
Actually,
Look,
this is-
you've just got a New Yorker and a Chicagoan on the show. No big deal. But
I mean, no. Believe me, I
good.
get it. Your point of comparison is probably way more refined than mine is from Boise, Idaho. My pizza has potato on it. I'm pretty happy, but which, by the way, potato pizza is actually really good. But anyway,
Jason.
The good news
No,
is that
but
these actions are coming to the Pixel smartphone that you may have in your hand and Allo as well.
Yes.
Which, by the way, guys, you really got to get on the Allo train. I know nobody's using it, but you need to start telling people to use it because I don't think you're going to have a choice in the future.
really, why do you say that?
I mean, I just feel like Google's gonna be like, listen, we got Assistant on here, use it, dang it. Like, we made this for you, you know?
Yeah,
Sort
I
of thing.
know.
Anyway, Allo's good, guys. Give it a chance. Just give it a chance and come back to me after you've given it a real chance. But anyway, the good news is eventually we'll be able to do more with Google
Yeah.
Home and
See,
Google
what
Assistant.
would be what I think is the best. By the way, I love this news. This is fantastic.
It is
I think
fantastic.
Android Things is great news for IoT, for Google to get this aggressively involved in IoT and the IoT space and be open to working on so many different platforms and things like that. Awesome. Building out access to Google Assistant, allowing developers to do that. I think and I don't know if this is even possible, but what I would love to see is a Google Assistant API that they open up and allow WhatsApp and whomever else to use, and that way it gets us addicted to Assistant, and then let them build up Allo as a true competitor, and then make the value proposition to switch over Allo that much better because you're exposing people on those other platforms to the power of the Assistant. I think that's what, if they did that is what could make Assistant go wild. I don't think they will because they want that competitive advantage, but I mean, if you want everyone to be using Assistant, make it available, make an API, make it available on everything.
fully,
right?
fully.
Totally.
Well, I mean, like if that's what they want to do, I mean, you're absolutely right. Assistant is the killer feature of Allo. Like, it's not like Allo's terribly feature rich beyond Assistant, right? Like, still no web UI, still no any kind of SMS fallback.
Stickers. I don't understand what more you want.
No one wants
Flobot.
stickers, Flo.
Flobot's
No one wants stickers.
malfunctioning. Flobot's malfunctioning. Everybody. Like,
Uh-oh, you're not the same two people. You're not the same anymore.
Look, I agree. It's a wonderful application, and it works great, especially like when you're having a conversation with someone and you both need access to the same kind of search data. It really does feel nice. It feels like we live in the future to be able to just mention Google because they happen to be in the conversation watching everything you say, which we still have to address.
It's the best friend you've always wanted.
It's the best friend that'll never go away.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good to me. Never alone. Last bit of good news, just to end on this, is that Google Assistant can now control Nest thermostats from the Pixel. So,
yes.
Unfortunately, still can't control Nest cameras, which is what I really want because I just want to be able to walk into the house and say, okay, so-and-so, I can't say it because it'll turn on my phone. I'd like to turn on my cameras now. Because I have to manually turn off Nest cameras before I leave the house. And, you know, it's
I'm
such
sure they'll all get there.
It's a PETA.
I mean, more and more Assistant, like Home is being used as a hub for controlling things, obviously, in the home. And, you know, things like the Hue lights, for example.
Yes.
But you can also control, in my case with the Hue lights, you can do that through Assistant.
Yes,
so
yes.
more and more we're seeing Assistant kind of being built out to be this command center and not just
isn't it amazing?
Helpful, conversation thing.
Well, yeah,
Google Home exists downstairs where your smartphone isn't. Your smartphone's in your hands whenever you need it. You have all these things. I mean, I like the future we're seeing. And what I was trying to say earlier is that we'll get to a future where eventually we're controlling like what's controlled in the home. Like we're deciding
what pieces
go together. Thank you for helping me with that thought.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think we're starting there. You know, I mean, like case in point, you know, I have the Google Home, which, by the way, is just a dumb speaker and a microphone that's running Google Assistant as software. That's all it is.
I think it's a pretty capable speaker for its.
But but I'm just saying, there's nothing. I mean, without Google Assistant, there's nothing else with Google Home. It's
that's
all
true.
It's you know,
just,
like
I want to be here.
Google,
for sure.
It's running. I mean, Google Assistant almost is the OS of Google Home, even though it's running a modified Android. Anyway, cool. But look at it. I've got Google Home. I've got Samsung Smart Things. I've got a GE outlet. You know, the ability to pick and choose those things you put in your home are starting to come together because these bridges that IoT allows. This is like a year ago. This is the vision that we saw what could be. So it's so cool. So
why did it take so long to get here, though? That's what I wonder. Because IoT has been around for a couple. I mean.
Well, it's taken this long for Google to get there. There have been other. I'm sure the IoT experts will tell us that there are other platforms that are. I mean, Amazon folks. I mean, I don't have an Echo. We've talked about that, but everyone I talked about by Google Home who has an Echo just kind of tisks me and goes, "Oh, well, my Alexa can do that." You know, so it's. Right.
Well, we didn't have that central hub, that like command center that you're talking about, Ron. We didn't have Google Assistant the last couple of years. We didn't have anything to link up with. So I've been doing Internet of Things stuff for a while, but like you guys are talking about using Home as a speaker. And that's one of the ways that to me is really interesting. I've been a long time Sonos user. Like I've had a Zone player since like 2009, 2010, something like that. And the most compelling notion to me was to have my sound system hooked up through Google Home. But I don't think that Chromecast is quite there with the experience. Sonos just brings a lot to the table in terms of features.
Well, it's funny you say that, Mark, because if I was still in San Francisco where I had my one-bedroom apartment and I had my home theater and the stereo and all the stuff like that, I don't think I'd ever be using the Google Home speaker for music at all because I had a good setup. But now I'm in New York, I've got less space. My big home theater speakers are in storage, so like this is the solution and it's working all right. You know, I'm an audiophile. I would like a little more depth or like a little more control over the EQ and things like that. But for playing Christmas songs while I'm cooking, it's totally fine. So I've never
sound bad at all.
Yeah, I've never had a Sonos. I have friends who like swear by Sonos, but I just never made the financial commitment to it. So it's funny to see where you're coming from a different approach, similar to a user who has an Amazon Echo. Right. Is like, well, why do I need this? They don't realize, you know, basically Google Home is Amazon Echo, but with Google behind it, which is that much more powerful. So
meanwhile, in our house, we have the Google Home in the kitchen. We have a Chromecast audio in the living room hooked up to our nice stereo. We have a Chromecast audio upstairs hooked up to a Bose speaker. And I find the integration, controlling it all with the Google Home as the hub for all that stuff, pretty darn seamless. It's been pretty remarkable, and like to the point to where I'm like, why would I want a Sonos system? This is what I wanted. I wanted distribution of my audio to all these different rooms on a granular scale, but also on a widespread scale, and I'm able to get that. So
but so all this fun with Google Home is not without its challenges. And we actually got an email from someone in the All About Android community. Thank you, Matt, for emailing in. And Matt says, I have Assistant on my phone and I have a Google Home. I use I'm going to trigger it, but I use the Hey Google command on my Google Home to not wake my phone. But when I use the Assistant on my phone, saying the command, okay, Google, will wake up my Google Home. Is there a way to use a custom command line on my phone's assistant? That will solve this problem. I'm in a wheelchair and shutting off the Google Home's mic is inconvenient for me and must be a major pain in the butt for anybody else. So we're running into multiple devices, same trigger words that trigger Google Home as well as the trigger Assistant on the phone, and the desire to customize them. As far as I know, you can't change either, right? You guys we haven't seen otherwise, right? You're just okay Google or
that's it. There was a hot minute when okay Google on your phone first came. God damn it! Sorry everybody. Sorry.
Great. Now we have to pay the FCC. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Sorry. At some point, there was an ability for you to tell it whatever you wanted. So for a second, you could actually train it to respond to anything. So I had mine set to Hey Jarvis, so that wouldn't happen. So that anytime it heard the
okay Tony Stark.
Thanks, I appreciate that. That's good company to be held in such high esteem with. So it used to be possible, but so far as I know right now, you're just stuck with that one fantastic little key phrase.
Well, I mean, two, right? So
two of them,
Google Home has its own isolated one with Hey.
Hey.
And then if you want the combined one, it's okay. It would be nice to have an isolated one for the phone, I suppose. But then you get into this world of like having to remember the phrase that you say per device. And I'm pretty sure Google would love, in a perfect world, to have this seamless to the point to where you don't have to think about that kind of stuff.
Right.
The technology just knows how to handle it.
What I think is really interesting is that they are talking to each other, because I don't have voice commands activated on my phone, but I do have it activated on my Nexus 9. And whenever I'm interacting with Google Home, I hear in the bedroom the tablet reacting and saying, I didn't quite understand you or whatever. And then I was like, oh, that's weird. So I held the tablet once and I kept the tablet closed and I said, okay, and I did a command and I opened up the tablet and the notification said,
listening on
Google,
another device.
Yeah, it's a command executing on another device or something like that. So it knew that they were talking to each other somehow. It's just not quite at that level. So
it's server side, I believe. So it takes a second. Like most devices will start listening until the Home takes over, and then it'll say, okay, I've got it from here. No sweat.
Well, actually,
are you able with audio? Are you able, Jason, to say to Google Home, can you start playing in this room, or can you get what's playing in this room to play in all rooms?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. I can say that out loud and it does it.
And I could say play in all rooms, and it'll fire all the speakers simultaneously. I can say play in the living room, and then while that's playing, say play in the kitchen, and it'll have two separate audio streams going in both rooms. It's pretty awesome.
Important note, so Ixel in the chat room, I want to give him credit. He does make a good point, which could be a good solution for Matt, that you can tell the Google Home to stop listening with voice command as opposed to manually touching the mute button. You can tell, okay, Google, you could say, blah, 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 stop listening, and that does work. So that could be a solution for Matt to verbally tell Google Home to stop listening while you're interacting with Assistant on your phone.
And then I wonder how you get it started again.
Maybe you tell. Oh, that's a good question. How do you get it started again?
Well, you go in the app, on the phone, the home.
Yeah,
app
you go in the home
on
app.
The phone,
Yeah, go in the home app.
Oh, okay.
And fire it up again. Yeah.
My first try would be just asking nicely and getting closer and closer to it, and then eventually speaking more loudly as if they didn't speak my language.
Okay.
But I think
because that always
going
works.
to the app.
Yeah, Google Home will slap you then.
Do you speak English?
Don't talk like that to Google Home. You never know at what point Google Home is going to be so fully aware that it's going to
Don't be
rise
condescending
against
to
you.
your tech devices.
Yeah.
Rude.
Never know what's going to happen. All right, let's take a quick break and thank the sponsor of this episode. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by FreshBooks. FreshBooks cloud accounting software has been redesigned from the ground up. It's custom built to transform how freelancers and small business owners deal with their day-to-day paperwork. And getting started on FreshBooks is super simple. Even if you're not a numbers person, which, many times with stuff like this, you feel like you have to be in order to do it right. Actually, especially if you're not a numbers person, that's exactly what FreshBooks is making easier for you. FreshBooks has created a super intuitive tool that makes it easy to create and send professional-looking invoices in less than 30 seconds. There's no formatting, no formulas, just really simple, clean, and professional-looking invoices. You can add your own logo, of course, your own color scheme if you need to, so that your invoice reflects your brand. And when you send out an invoice, FreshBooks can show you if the client has seen it, so you know that you're not pestering them when you check in on it. You can set up online payments with just a couple of clicks, and you'll get paid up to 4 days faster as a result. Their super handy deposit feature allows you to invoice for a payment upfront when you're kicking off a project. Your clients are going to appreciate being able to pay by credit card straight from their invoice. The less friction that they have, the better for you, right? You get your money faster. FreshBooks offer other features include keeping you organized and streamlining the business side of things as a freelancer or a small business owner. They have a dashboard that's been curated to answer the most important question that you ask yourself all the time. How is my business doing? You're going to know that at a glance. All things like what is owed, what's overdue, whether you're in the red at this particular point, all that important stuff. The Notification Center works as your personal assistant, telling you what's changed in your business since your last login and what should be dealt with, like overdue invoices, because you need to know about that stuff. You need to act on that as fast as possible. FreshBooks also automates late payment email reminders so you can spend less time chasing clients. You can also take pictures of receipts on your phone using FreshBooks app. FreshBooks will also handle your time tracking. So when it comes time to create an invoice, you are going to know what you did, when you did it, all that important information brought in for you using FreshBooks. FreshBooks is offering a 30-day unrestricted free trial to our audience. To claim it, just go to freshbooks.com/AAA and enter All About Android in the How Did You Hear About Us section. And you can start your 30-day free trial today. We thank FreshBooks for supporting this episode of All About Android. Up next, we have a Samsung hardware block. It's all about Samsung, apparently, in this week's hardware.
Are we going to get a Samsung-themed bumper someday, maybe?
Maybe. What would it be? Would it be a Broadway musical? Or would you could go in so many directions with the Samsung.
Yes.
What do you think? You're the Samsung fangirl.
Samsung fangirl.
We haven't said that in a while. I'm sorry. You're shooting me with air daggers from your eyes.
Well, it would be blue because Samsung's all about how blue everything is.
I'm glad that Jason said that and not me.
Yes, I took over the team.
For the record, I would like for the jury to note that I did not say that time.
I will never say it again based on that look. I'm so sorry for it. The phone we want, the phone we need from Samsung next year might be foldable. After years of teasing this concept, we might actually see it at CES or Mobile World Congress in 2017. By the way, at least 2/3 of this entire section are rumor-based because, we're at that time of year. But whatever, It's fun to talk about this stuff.
Slathered in rumor jam.
Yeah, we're going to start with the rumors here.
I got to say, when I saw this article earlier today, and I thought, after coming off of watching all of Westworld, I was like, ooh, this is like the little things they have on Westworld.
Oh, those things are so cool. It's true.
Right?
You can do everything on those things.
Your Westworld.
I gotta watch Westworld.
Yeah, I was going to say your Westworld references are lost on me.
Basically,
keep
on
Westworld,
keep going.
everyone that works at Westworld, like the people who work at the park, they have these little trifold tablet phone devices that they that fold up and they fold them out, and there's a whole screen and they can interact with them, and that's like that's their terminals basically, and it's so cool. And this looks almost exactly ripped out of Westworld. So, tell us about it, Jason.
The thing is that these devices, I mean, Samsung's been teasing with little promotional videos and everything, this sort of thing since 2013. It's actually a video link to it. It's the cheesiest video in the whole wide world. But it shows off kind of concept, and I'm sure we've shown it on the show in past episodes. But anyways, there's 2 devices that apparently, based on these sources, are meant to gauge consumer interest in the category. So these wouldn't be like full-on like consumer products meant for everyone to kind of come over. If you skip about a third or a half the way through, you'll start to see the little foldable device. There it is.
That's cool.
Really old
Oh God,
UI.
do you guys
That's
remember that
cool.
terrible UI?
She's really impressed by
man, but
that
why
too.
is it Samsung UI? Like, that's so cool.
Well, but that's old. That's like old TouchWiz UI on it, right? That's like 2013
I've seen
era.
people who
That
still
font,
have that.
clock font is isn't that Froyo clock font
Yeah,
at the front?
it's probably about that time period, maybe a little bit later than that.
Man, I
Probably
thought it was
is
so cool back in the day. 3 years ago.
Is the guy to her left a young Mark Maron? What's going
kind
on
of
over there?
looks like it, yeah. All I know is he got her business card because she is so impressed by that foldable phone. So that could be you if you get one of these foldable
I
phones.
remember the
That's
dandelion.
so cool.
A phone and a
That's so-
tablet.
That's so cool.
So
I want this.
I don't know if this is what we're going to see exactly, but I mean, early on, before Edge phones were a thing that Samsung was doing full time, we were seeing for a couple of years prior to that little kind of proof of concept devices
of,
that
like,
they would
curved
show off
screens
and everything, and then that
wrap
became a
around,
very
yeah.
major part of their strategy. So who knows? Maybe this is going to happen.
I mean, the Note line too. Like the Note, Samsung was one of the first to do. I mean, Samsung, for all their faults, they were one of the first to do a gigantic phone. And I genuinely thought at the time, this is idiotic. Who's going to use a
It
phone
wasn't
like
even
this?
that big, by the
And
way.
yet, and it really wasn't. It really wasn't. And yet
Back
here we are
then.
using Pixel XLs like it's nothing. So
Yeah, back
Well,
then though it was, man, compared to my Motorola Droid. I mean, that thing is like tiny though.
yeah,
That droid was clunky in comparison.
Yeah.
But so speaking of the Westworld future that hopefully we won't be a part of because it's kind of terrible when you watch the show and you know what we're talking about. The upcoming Galaxy S8 might also have an all-screen bezel-less design, which is exactly what Ron and I were referring to with regards
so
to
cool.
the little computer tablets, whatever they have on the show. So how this would work is, well, the physical home button would be removed, and the button would be buried beneath or behind the glass, however that works. Other rumors also point to a removed headphone jack because, as Apple taught us, it's a brave thing to remove the headphone jack
You don't really
in
want
order
it
to make it
anyways.
so thin.
You don't want it.
So thin and so fresh. So you don't need a headphone jack. This also means that Samsung might scrap the plans for a dual rear-facing camera. So maybe we wouldn't be getting like that neat portrait mode that we have with the iPhone 7 Plus or Plus.
Yeah, something like that. I lose track.
You see how much I'm just like Apple.
beep bop boop.
Anyway.
Flobot.
The Flobot. Yeah.
I don't know. It all sounds. The thing is, though, these rumor mills, it ends up that a fraction of these rumors will be just complete hootenanny.
Yep.
And then MWC will come and it's a phone with a fraction of the things that were rumored about. What those things would be, we shall see.
Listen, Flo, don't take away the fun of these rumors, of these crazy, crazy rumors, because that's half the fun of this.
No,
And-
totally. It's just so insane to me. Like, I don't know how I feel about an all-screen bezel-less phone because let me tell you guys, I love what's going on here. This feels to me like a phone. The Galaxy S7, while it is beautiful, I'm scared to hold that thing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I just moved in. I've dropped this Pixel XL. I mean, I think twice just today. I think yesterday probably 3 times. The day before, somewhere in that vicinity, and I don't feel like it's an issue. But if we're gonna move towards something like the Mi Mix, something like that, without a single single bezel to protect that screen, people are going to be really upset. They're going to be stoked. Oh man, that does look really cool.
So,
Oh no!
Never mind. Actually, I just saw a picture. I need to have that.
But because it looks cool, does that mean that it's user serviceable? And it's like the same thing with the headphone jack. Like removing it is not.
No, of course not. Of course not.
I think, I don't know. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I think that if you're doing a bezel-less phone, removing the headphone jack makes perfect sense. If you can get it in, I honestly think Bluetooth connectivity and stuff like that has gotten to a point now where, as much as I love my dumb $9.99 headphones, if you get a good set of wireless headphones, they will work, and you will just move on and not even think about it.
But if you lose those headphones, you can go to Dwayne Reed and buy another pair. True. You can't if your Bluetooth runs out of battery and you're stuck, like that's the big thing I always use. I cannot be on the train without my headphones.
So here's where I think the line gets drawn. Like with Ron, what you're saying, I think to your point, I think it's okay if we're talking about bezel-less and this and that. Okay, sure, remove the headphone jack. Like if you're doing a bunch of weird moonshot stuff, by all means. But in the situations that we're seeing now, where we're still at the point in these devices' life cycles that they don't have all of those things just yet, and for most people, like Flo just said, like they just want to be able to replace a headset.
Right.
It feels really like Nilay said, it just feels really user hostile. Like I am one of those dudes, Ron. Like I have
referring to Nilay Patel from The Verge, by the way.
Yes, he's the one who wrote that article.
Wrote a piece.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I necessarily don't disagree, because the number of times I've forgotten my headphones and had to walk into the Hudson News and buy a $10 pair of headphones so I can get by in a flight. That's fine. But I'm talking about progressing towards the future. So Josh, I put a link in our chat in our document. I always refer to science fiction and how do we get to where we want to, like this kind of future. And the show, The Expanse on Sci-Fi, which is a science fiction show, it's somewhat near future, but like these are the phones they use in that show. And if you look, that yellow line, it's just a hunk of plastic that pulls up, that is in a square, and it pulls up these kind of images. This is what a true bezel-less phone looks like, or information device. And this is where I want to go. So if we need to move things forward to get here, then you got to iterate, and you got to start that iteration somewhere. So
how does not look fun to use in bed when you first wake up, though? Like, how are you supposed to be like comfortable?
Just like that.
Oh yeah,
just
you
like
nailed
that.
it actually. Yeah, that was it. That's what I was exactly gonna say. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Mark is like all of us.
Mark is one of us.
We're all
of
clones
us.
of each other.
Yes. Mark bot.
Wait, are we in Westworld?
I don't know. I've never seen it. You tell me.
Wait, are we all just robots on the narrative? Like this is our narrative. I don't know what I am anymore.
Anyway, I don't necessarily disagree with you that removing the headphone jack is not bad. I think it is bad at this juncture, but we're going to get to a point someday where it's going to be gone.
Right.
And that's
we'll
all
be
I'm saying.
very, very old by then, I imagine.
I don't know about that. But I hope not, at least for progress.
Like it's right in the corner.
It's true.
But moving away from rumors and more to harsh realities, Samsung, coming off of the horrible fall with the Note 7, has released their latest software update that's going to stop Note 7s from charging altogether at all. Samsung says 93% of the Note 7s have been returned, but this new update would eliminate the remaining 7% of phones that are out there, their ability to charge at all, in hopes that the phones will finally be returned. Verizon put out a statement saying it would not participate in this update for its users to prevent someone from being without a device to use in the interim period. And also think about emergencies and holiday travel and things like that. This is a bad time to do it, Samsung. But I guess at some point they're going to have to pull the Band-Aid off, and kill these devices because they want them out of circulation.
And there's always a bad time for a lawsuit. So
yeah, that's true.
So we did get another email from another great member of the All About Android community. Our buddy Captain Temerity, Corey Scott, wrote in and says, "So I'm one of those holdouts that's still walking around with a bomb in his pocket. Yes, I have my second Samsung Note 7. And I'm not exactly happy about it, but now it definitely feels like things are going to be even worse. I did the first exchange when the phones were recalled. I've been ready to do my second since October when we put in for my Google Pixel XL as a replacement. My company supplies my cell phone through Verizon, so I just can't order from Google. And Verizon has changed the data when my phone should arrive now 3 times.
Right, because the stock's been low.
So now I'm hearing that my Note 7 is going to be getting a forced update that will effectively render it completely useless next week. I understand the whys and the safety issues and everything, but I rely on my phone not just for work, but for my personal things like my Authenticator app and for password securities, not to mention photos, videos, and so on. I've already lost a lot of faith in Samsung because of the Note situation, but if Verizon allows this to happen, they're pretty much shutting down my phone and my personal security while holding me a bit hostage on the promise that my new phone is coming soon. It's bad enough that I can't take my phone on planes, and I wouldn't, but to just deny me all of its use feels like it's a way outside the boundaries of carrier overreach. At this point, I would never be able to recommend either of these companies to anyone in the future. So it sounds like Verizon isn't screwing you because they're not participating in it.
Right. Verizon's not overreaching anyone.
Right. So that's
They're underreaching.
Yeah. So Corey, in your example, Samsung is still to blame. Verizon is looking out for you, but still, it's not a good situation. So
Yeah. I mean, this is when I read that email, I was like, okay, that's like, it's easy for me to get all judgy and be like, why do you still have a Note 7? You should not have this anymore.
Because
Sure,
he has to
turn
work.
it up, blah, blah, blah.
Authenticator app. Totally get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of considerations around this to be forced into a situation where, no, that one device that you have for whatever reason it may be. Some people are stubbornly holding on to them because they just like the phone and they want to have it until the bitter end and they want to be that. They want to be that person. Right. But then there are other people that have it legitimately for reasons that if they are to be deactivated, that's a pretty big, significant kind of impact to their lives.
Yeah,
I feel frustrated by Samsung's. I mean, the whole industry. We have this like yearly life cycle now where stuff comes out. Samsung rushes another device out. Apple rushes another device out year over year. And I don't know if any of you guys are gamers or any viewers are gamers, but like a couple of years back, 3-4 years ago, publishers and developers started getting a little smarter, not putting out a new title every single year just for the sake of the money grab. And I feel like that's where we're moving now with the mobile industry. I hope that after this, I hope this is the tipping point, that we get to a point where we don't necessarily have to see a new S model every single year, because we are getting to the point where these things are commodities, and we are getting to the point where not enough is necessarily changing year over year, and it's actually getting worse for the consumer. I talked to a guy today who has an S5 and asked me what to get, and he had seriously considered an S7 Edge. And I said, if you had asked me 4 months ago if you should get an S7 Edge, I'd say yes, absolutely. It's one of the few phones that actually still holds a candle to the Pixel these days. But as of right now, I feel the same way as Corey does. I can't in good faith, in good judgment, good conscience, tell someone to pick up a Samsung device these days. I can't do it. Because of the track record at this point, because of the kind of Note 7 debacle. At this point, shipping something like that for the sake of getting it out for the holiday season, knowing that it could actually injure human beings, to me is incredibly reckless and super irresponsible. But beyond that, they haven't really shown beyond Samsung Good Lock. That is the only bit of software that I've seen Samsung put out that's actually fantastic. That team is just really, really vocal. But the rest of the software experience on Samsung devices has just been subpar since day one, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. But the hardware debacle throws it over the edge for me. I can't see myself spending any money on a Samsung device in the near future.
I'm there with you. I mean, Flo probably disagrees. That's where you and Flo differ, because she's the president of their fan club. But
oh, jeez, I don't know if you saw what happened to Jason earlier.
She's like, I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
Wrap it up.
See you guys later.
Wrap it up.
All right. Enough punching Samsung, and let's move on. Before we move on, though, because we've got some interesting app news to talk about. Let's thank another sponsor of this episode. The sponsor of All About Android right now is Ring Video Doorbell. I have a Ring Video Doorbell at my home. Super handy, and you'll understand why here in a second. Over 23 million Americans have had packages stolen from their home just last year. The Ring Video Doorbell has been proven to stop burglaries before they happen by allowing you to see and speak to anyone approaching your door using your smartphone. And now Ring is using their advanced motion detection technology to protect your entire property. You can have peace of mind this holiday season, especially with a Ring of Security kit. All kits include a Ring Video Doorbell and a solar security sign, and may include a stick-up cam, solar panel, or chime. Pro kits have a slim Video Doorbell Pro. It has crystal clear 1080p HD video, as well as night vision, so you can see at night. That's super handy. It's hardwired, so it never needs a charge. The wireless and weatherproof HD stick-up cam keeps an eye on other parts of your property and allows you to hear and speak to visitors with two-way talk. You can plug the chime into any standard power outlet to know when you have a visitor, if your phone is in the other room. I have one of those in my living room, and they have a bunch of different kind of rings that you can choose, which is a nice feature that they added recently. The illuminated solar security sign deters intruders before they get to your door, so they know that you're protected. The Ring Video Doorbell and stick-up cam install in just minutes. It's super easy. They give you all the tools that you need in order to do that, to replace the one you already have installed with the Ring Video Doorbell. And working together, they provide 24/7 monitoring of your entire home, whether you're in the living room or whether you happen to be thousands of miles away. Maybe you're in Chicago. I don't know. You could also connect your Ring Video Doorbell with your favorite smart locks and hubs for added convenience, monitoring, and security. I've loved the Ring Video Doorbell. It's come in handy at Halloween for tracking which kids are stealing candy from our front step, and it comes in really handy when you're away traveling and you want to make sure, kind of check in every once in a while and keep tabs on your home. Really nice stuff. Join the millions of homeowners who protect their home with Ring. For a limited time, All About Android listeners can get up to $150 off one of the Ring of Security kits. Go to ring.com/allaboutandroid. That's ring.com/allaboutandroid. And we thank Ring for their support of All About Android and the Twit Network. All right, it's app time. Flo, take it away.
Yo, dog, I heard you like searching your keyboard. What about keyboard in your search? New Gboard app is now out for Android. Previously, it was only available on iOS, and now 6 months later, it's finally here on Android.
Only a half a year later?
Only a half year later, but Google had to give something to the iOS people to kind of get them, coming, and I totally understand. Now you can do a Google search from within the Google Keyboard app.
Okay.
So you don't have to leave.
How often are you going to use that?
This
That's a good
Gboard,
question. I don't know yet. I don't know yet, actually. I'll get back to you.
I'll give them credit. The Gboard is awesome. Like, my girlfriend has it on her iPhone, and she's been using it since it came out. And it's really, like, to the point where I was like, why aren't they giving this to us? Like, I'm glad to finally see
they are
this.
now, and it includes emoji search, gift search, and some of you will really enjoy this, a permanent number row.
Yeah!
I'm actually really happy about that.
Happy
Do you know how annoying it is to type in passwords and to have to switch between screens to do so?
Oh my God, yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got Gboard up here.
I've got chills right here.
I got chills multiplying.
I have 3 songs stuck in my head, by the way, for the last week.
So there we go. I can go. Google
Wait, so is that the
search.
new Gboard? How do you have that? Because it's not out on
APK.
Google Play Store yet.
APK Mirror. Fine folks at
there it
Android
is.
Police and APK Mirror. Here you go. So you've got search integrated. You've got, let's see here. Let's take that off. You've got, where is the?
Themes, one-handed. If gift search is in emoji.
Was there. That's right. So if I go into emoji, it's got a search. So I can do the obligatory. There we go.
There it is.
Poop emoji. Excellent. What else did they say?
Taco. Type in taco.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
See if it comes up. That's all.
Taco.
Taco's in Unicode 9.0, isn't it?
There's no taco.
Not yet, no.
Oh, wait, what about burrito?
Burrito's there.
Burrito's
I used burrito last night.
Tacos y burritos.
Are you sure?
Did you spell it right? Burritos with 2 R's.
I have 2 R's.
He got 2 R's in there.
I can't
He's
see
got
it.
2 R's.
Sorry. I just
Got 2 R's.
What?
Oh, you can't use the gift keyboard and keep.
Oh yeah.
Bummer.
Sorry.
You got to
I always
use
forget
like
that.
Hangouts or Allo or
I don't
something.
understand why that is. But
Where's the
anyways.
burrito?
Where is burrito?
That's
It
a problem.
exists.
Taco exists too. I have taco and burrito on my phone. Why don't you have them on your phone, Jason?
I don't know. I just updated to 7.1.1 today.
I told you
weird.
this is Westworld. They didn't update the software.
What is going on here? Why don't I have burrito and taco?
Oh my goodness, this is really bad.
News.
This is really bad news.
All right. Well, there you go.
Are those robotic burritos you've been eating all along?
Apparently.
Cylon burritos.
Anyway, the Gboard is cool, and I'm glad that we have it finally at some point. It'll be check it out. I'm actually seriously considering moving completely over that from SwiftKey, which has been my keyboard of choice. So
You should do it and then let us know
Yeah,
what
you
you
should.
think. Give us your
I will.
opinions, Ron. You
as
should
soon
opine.
as soon as I get it, I will. Yeah,
It will replace this Play Store page once it starts moving out. Right now, it's still
Yes.
showing Google Keyboard, but it'll replace this in due time.
Well, talking about the Play Store. When our good friend Hiroshi was on last week, we were talking to him about the Play Store and its ability to enable developers to earn money and things like that. And one of our big complaints was that it's so disorganized and there's a lot of dead apps in there, games in the app section and apps in the game section and all this stuff. And so finally, it looks like the Play Store is going to recognize that apps and games are indeed different, and they're about to push out an update to break them out. This will be a server-side change that will change the organization and give us true apps and games organization, and I'll believe it when I see it. So, and I like to think that this came directly from our conversation with Hiroshi, that he hung up and then said, "Hey guys, we need to fix this." And so,
to the drawing board.
Yeah, a red phone rang somewhere.
Games are people too.
He was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? That is a really good idea."
Yes.
that's what.
Thank you for bringing that up because we've never heard that one before. Yeah, I mean, apparently it's hitting some phones right now. So, but I don't have it. I looked for it, but that's been a long time coming.
And we'll see what it does. I mean, we'll see if it works. I mean,
I've been requesting for that since the Android Marketplace, y'all. Back when it was called the Android Marketplace.
You remember that? Oh.
Do you remember?
I remember, and then they changed it because that was too limiting to just Android, and they had to include everything. So then it was Google Play, and Play always just still sounds weird to me.
Still does sound weird, yeah. Remember when the
really
icons
hard
weren't
not
terrible?
to like. Sorry.
Yep.
No, that's all, Flo. It's just that's all. Remember when the icons weren't terrible? That's all.
You don't like the icons. What's your problem with the icons?
The circular icons? Like, there's a handful of them, actually. Like, if you look at the Gboard icon, the new Gboard icon's a great example.
They're not that bad. What?
Dude, they're so bad. They're so bad. The circular, the fact that they're circular is fine. And when they actually bother to make the icon look circular, it's fine. But when they do what they did with the Play Store icons and the Gmail icon, they take a perfectly good icon and put it inside a white circle. Yeah, don't come to me with that. Don't come to me with that garbage.
Okay, that's fair. I can understand your frustration with that particular thing.
Like,
look at
that.
this. What is this garbage? What is this?
Agreed.
Oh yeah, that is garbage. No, I
is
mean,
this your first icon?
But when you look at it in the app drawer, though, it's not that bad. Like the Play.
They've already designed a
go to the Play icons, like the row of Play icons. There we go. See, it's not that bad.
It's not too bad there.
They've taken the identifiable bit of them. They're all the same shape, a triangle and a circle, and the identifiable bit is the book, the game, the movie. That is now the smallest part on the icon. That should be the largest part of the icon. This is Design 101.
That's true.
This is Design 101, amateurs.
God.
Next week when we get Hiroshi Lockheimer back on the show, we should ask him about that.
If Liam were here, Liam would agree with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure that he would.
Our bi-weekly check-in with Hiroshi, right?
It's every get that on the calendar. Make sure that he's okay with that first. Yep. I doubt he is. I think he's really busy. Hey, Mac and Josh, we have a different segment. I don't know if this is going to throw you for a loop. It's time to check out some VR. Oh, it's so beautiful.
So cool. It's like we're there. Ooh.
Oh, harsh reality.
He's just in a dark room with no furniture.
I know. Looks like he's in a scene from Hostel there at the end. Well, you know, there's not a whole lot. I just really want to play the bumper.
Fair enough.
HBO Now opens up its VR app so you can get an HBO in the world of VR and sit inside a virtual theater or viewing room?
No coughing, no children crying, no popcorn on the floor. Sounds to me like the perfect movie experience.
Well, wait a minute. You can watch Westworld in VR. Like, that's weird.
Oh, that's too meta.
Yeah, think about that. There you go. Yeah,
that could be weird. Also, Netflix has its own Daydream app as well. Same kind of idea. You're in a movie theater. You're watching Netflix movies. As long as you're okay with the fact that you got something on your face for the 2+ hours.
How do you cry with Daydream on your face?
That's
though?
a good question.
Because like when
fog up
HBO,
and stuff.
Netflix shows, like how am I supposed to handle all that emotional turmoil with?
Well, are you crying virtual tears, Flo? That's the question.
Ooh, are they real?
She is a robot. She is a Flobot.
Yeah, see?
That's a good question. But no, genuinely, Flo, seriously, because you know, I'm a weeper. So if I'm trying to,
Why
watch
are we friends?
anything,
We're both weepers. What are you gonna do?
Like, it's fine. Like, if I'm trying to watch Say Anything for the 18th time in VR.
No. Oh my God, with her dad, that scene with her dad. Oh my God, I can never.
Get like tissues up in behind her. Like, I mean,
I would like to point out to both of you that I saw that in the theater.
Okay.
Oh, wow. No, he's right. I gotta give Ron props on that. Ron is like old school Long Island punk kid seeing things like that in the theater. Totally. You saw Some Kind of Wonderful in the theater too, didn't you?
No, I was going to see Goonies when Some Kind of Wonderful came out, but Say Anything was 89. And I got into that one.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Should we roll through the email?
Yeah, let's do
roll
it.
through the email.
Email time.
We have an email. We got to help somebody, so we're going to help them. Today we're helping Wesley. Wesley, we're going to help you today. I might be remembering this wrong, but I thought I saw at Google I.O. many moons ago a demonstration of Android notification syncing. I'm a longtime Android user, but relatively new to using an Android tablet. A lot of the same apps on both phone and tablet device, so I see a lot of duplicates. It would be amazing if I could dismiss a notification on my phone and have it disappear on my tablet and vice versa. So, Wesley, I will say, now this question actually came up on the new screensavers last weekend.
Oh.
Yes. And I had looked up.
Was it Wesley?
Yes. It was the same question.
I didn't realize that. Great.
Wow.
Sorry,
No,
I
it's
didn't
okay.
realize that.
It's okay. We're answering it again in case Wesley didn't get it the first time around, which is great. So Pushbullet did used to be able to do this, but they stopped support for it because it was a bit too buggy from what I've read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I went on a Reddit search on Saturday before the new screensavers, and I saw Notify does this, but the app hasn't been updated in 2 years. So I shouldn't even mention to you in the first place, by the way. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
But Pulse can also do this.
Right? Yeah.
So-
Pulse is a great app. Yeah. But I thought I used Pushbullet. I thought Pushbullet does it too. Still, that's weird.
I have to be quite honest. I haven't used Pushbullet since the subscription model happened. Sorry, Pushbullet. So I'm not really haven't really kept up with. But I read through Reddit that they had eliminated it because of its apparent bugginess.
Because I was trying to search to find it, and I was having a hard time finding it because I remember it did it at one
I believe
point.
it's still
I
a
just
beta
assumed it was
thing that
probably
you can
in the-
enable, but it's not a perfect
Okay.
implementation. Also,
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Also, end of story.
Wesley left a little note for Ron, and I was
That's
going to
all
read
right.
it, but I
We don't
realized
need to do
it's
that.
not
Thank you,
for
Wesley. Yeah,
public
that's good.
consumption, so I apologize, Wesley.
Anyway, let's take a break from that and let's thank our last sponsor for the episode. We want to thank CuriosityStream for sponsoring All About Android. And CuriosityStream is the world's first ad-free nonfiction streaming service. It was founded by John Hendricks, who's the founder of the Discovery Channel, source of great content for years. Now he's at CuriosityStream. They've got over 1,500 titles, 600 hours of content, and over 50 hours of 4K content. So that means that fancy 4K TV that you're going to get for Christmas, or that you got for the Super Bowl last year. You're looking for content to show it off. You got a nice new Chromecast for Christmas. You're going to go CuriosityStream, and you're going to show off what your TV can do with over 50 hours of 4K content. It's amazing. It's available in 196 countries worldwide. And like I said, you can use it on any platform. They've got a web app. They're on Roku. They're available on Android, Chromecast, Amazon Kindle, Amazon Fire, whatever you've got, you're going to be able to watch CuriosityStream on it. If you're a fan of science and technology content, plus nature, history, and all those other great nonfiction contents like I am, you're going to love Curiosity Stream. In addition to documentaries, they have interviews and lectures with notable people, and they've got some amazing titles in their library. I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now, but seriously, you want to check them out. Stephen Hawking's Favorite Places. It's a brand new exclusive documentary where Stephen Hawking pilots a fantastical CGI spaceship across the universe, making stops at Saturn and many of his other favorite destinations. My favorite destination is California. His is Saturn. That's awesome. Another great series you want to check out, especially for those of you that are like me that are plugged into technology and things like that. You're going to check out Digits, which is a 3-part series hosted by Derek Mueller, the creator of the science channel over at YouTube called Veritasium, which explores online safety and security. The series features never-before-seen interviews with Edward Snowden, the infamous Edward Snowden, former NSA contractor, as well as one of my personal heroes, the co-founder of the internet, Vint Cerf. If you like nature and amazing, real-life things, you're going to want to check out the Underwater Wonders of the National Parks. In celebration with the National Park Service's centennial year, this exclusive 7-part series takes you on a journey below the bodies of water within America's national parks. They're truly a wonderful resource, and you can celebrate them with Underwater Wonders of the National Parks. So if you're interested in Curiosity Stream, they've got monthly and annual plans available, with annual plans offering a notable savings. So you're going to want to sign up for the full year to get that savings. Plans start at just $2.99 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee or the cost of just one title on other competing video platforms. So you're definitely getting a lot of value for your dollar with starting at $2.99 per month. So check out curiositystream.com/twit and use promo code TWIT during sign up to get unlimited access to the world's top documentaries, nonfiction series, and it's all completely free for the first 60 days. That's 2 entire months free of one of the largest nonfiction 4K libraries around. Go to curiositystream.com/twit and use offer code TWIT at sign up and be entertained and learn something at the same time. Curiosity Stream, we thank them for their support, and it's awesome. Go watch it, especially if you got a 4K TV. So,
yeah, do
stuff.
it. Do it. You're not doing it yet. Get there. Okay,
Do
good.
it.
Now you've done it. Excellent.
Now you've done it.
Now you've done it. And you're welcome. It's time for the arena.
So many enter, but only one lives.
Did
Android.
it say wins or lives? I always thought he says
wins.
lives, and I'm
Wins, it should be lives. I remember for the longest time it was 2 enter and 1 wins, but that never worked because we always had more than 2 people on the show. So it's it's evolved over time.
I mean, still true. I mean, 2 did enter. It was just more than 2.
2 did, and another 2 did too. So yeah, maybe it was accurate.
Shall we
Count
read
it.
the 2016
Well, hang on.
arena?
Wait, no. Flo, hold on. Let's do the results of last week, and then
I'll
we're
let Ron
gonna
do
get to the. And then we're going to get to the results. So, Jason, give us last week.
All right. Okay, so checking in on last week's episode, which, let's see here. We had 3 apps to show for. First place was Ron with Fonty. It was a very fonty pick. Draw and make fonts with 48%. Second place, Fly Chat at 43%. Third place, A Color Story at 9%. But it was still very helpful to Flo on her trip.
My initial app was a duplicate, and I was terrible.
Oh, no. It's okay.
But it's okay, because I was like, whatever.
Sounds like excuses, Flo. Sounds like excuses. Well, so that says what Flo got so excited about was that through 49 weeks of the arena, thanks to Wade County in the chat room, right now Flo and I are tied with 10 wins, coming up in last place. Jason, you are second with 13 wins, and the guests have 16 wins. Mathematically, the guests have clinched it. 16 wins. The 2016 arena champions are the guests.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yes. You earned it.
So proud.
It's unprecedented.
To be here to
You guys
accept
brought some
the
good
hat.
apps to the arena this year.
Yep.
We have to hear from all the guests right now. What do you
just
think,
have like a
guests?
Brady Bunch roundtable.
The weight of the world rests on your shoulders,
You have
Mark.
to talk for all the guests.
Yeah,
You're representing
so
all of them.
Thank you so much. This is an honor. It's an honor. I don't know. I mean, like we couldn't have done it without the developers. So big ups to the developers. You clickety clackers. You know you know what you're doing. Thanks for making such great apps. And to Twit, thank you for having us so frequently.
So this is a great question. JJ in the chat room asks, Mark, Did you win an arena this year? You personally?
Did I? I don't know.
I think he did. I know he won last year.
So the last episode he was on was in April, episode 262. So let's go find out the winner of that one.
I know. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Let's see. Okay, so here I am, 262, and the winner of that, if the Bitly link still works, I could tell you, and it's loading. The winner of that one was Mark's app was okay, and the winner was, the suspense is killing me. Mark did not win. He did not win.
Okay.
Flo won with a racer map. So and Flo, do you
good job,
even
Flo.
still use still use that app?
Mark.
Okay.
Where were you, dude? Where were you on that one?
I can speak directly to JJ. I'm bringing the thunder today. That's happening now. So, but I'm like, it's okay.
Hang on, hold the phone. Mark was also on in March with episode 256.
Yes.
We can stop there.
And episode 256, he brought to the arena Atomas.
Yeah, Atomas, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Okay, and so he did not win as well in that episode.
Okay, that's okay. Reality is harsh sometimes.
Jason won that episode as well. So Mark is a 2-time loser.
Oh, jeez.
Well, no, actually, I'm probably a 3 or 4-time loser because I've been on more than just 2 times.
That's true. All right. Well, dang, part of me feels a little weird about you having the acceptance speech, to be honest, Mark.
Yeah,
it's a little odd.
Look, we'll see how we feel at the end of this bout in the arena.
All right, fine.
This is our second to last battle of the year, y'all.
I know. We got to finish the year strong, even though we know who won.
Well, we still have to battle it out between the 3 of us.
Yeah, there's second, third, and fourth
Although I
place.
don't like battling you guys.
Oh,
it's all love in here. It's all feel the love, everybody. Let's bring amazing apps to the arena and let that be what we celebrate.
So who's first?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who's first?
Well, I lost.
I can't remember. Okay, so then you're first.
I won.
Yep. So Ron goes last. Flo goes first.
All right. So today's app choice might feel a little limiting, but it's not, I promise, because if you can't use the app, you can always go online and watch these. I've been playing with this thing quite a bit since I got it last week.
The Daydream.
The Daydream.
View.
Well, actually, it came while I was gone, but I picked up my mail last week from USPS, and this was there. So thank you, USPS, for holding on to this for me.
What do you think? Are you enjoying it?
I actually, sometimes Daydream VR makes me a little motion sick because what I did is I loaded all my Gear 360 photos from my trip and uploading the videos to YouTube kind of, hits the resolution a little bit. And so that's kind of settling in when you're using the VR. But overall, I like some of the app experiences I've had with it. One of which is called Within. Now, Within is a free app, and it's a little hard to show on the show. So I've equipped Josh with several links of some of the movies that are playing. One that I watched within. One of them that I watched last night was called The Click Effect, which is about this group of scientists that go out studying echolocation and how whales and dolphins use it to communicate. And let me tell you, put on a pair of Bluetooth headsets, lay in bed like I did last night, preferably not while hopped up on NyQuil, or maybe,
yeah, why not?
And get into the sea with this movie. The nice thing about it is you don't have to worry with these movies about turning your head all the way around, because I know sometimes we want to do that in VR instinctually. You don't need to worry so much about that. The action is usually happening within a panoramic view of you in the front. And if you're using the Daydream remote while you're using this app to constantly center, if you are standing up or if you're sitting in a chair or whatever, you will experience this just fine. I love the surround sound that's associated with this. I like sort of the immersive movie experience. It reminds me of, for instance, like when you go to, a science museum and you sit in a planetarium, or you're in some movie narrated by Sigourney Weaver. It's just really nice. Now, these movies come from indie directors who are using VR. They come from like the New York Times. You can watch some of their movies that they've worked on, their documentaries rather. And also you can watch popular content like the Mr. Robot virtual reality experience if you like that show on USA. And of course, the app does suggest that you use headphones and earbuds for the realistic 3D spatial VR. So it's just a fun, interactive way to get into the moment with Daydream VR. And good news for those of you who have Cardboard, it works with that too. Mm-hmm. So, pair it with a pair of Bluetooth headphones, pop them on. It's just a simple app that gives you access to all these things. And if you don't have a Google Cardboard or Daydream VR or anything that works, you can also just watch this stuff online at the website, which is... I'm getting the website for you guys.
I believe it's with.in.
Yeah, it's with.in. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. I know this because this is another app called Verse rebranded. I didn't realize they had rebranded.
I actually didn't realize it was rebranded. There is YouTube.
You can sit right in the middle of a YouTube performance.
I feel like showing YouTube is like, oh nope, I'm not going to use this.
That's the anti-Ron.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a cool way to kind of get your intro to VR experience. You don't want to play a game.
I would agree.
You're not making your own content.
Because a lot of times with like immersive video, like there's a lot of it out there if you're searching YouTube and everything like that. But then you watch it, and the quality is low, the resolution, the sharpness is really fuzzy, really shaky.
Yeah, no, these were shown at film festivals.
Yeah, these are really high. It's really high quality content.
Well, good film festivals like the Tribeca Film Festival and Sundance, not like the Poughkeepsie Film Festival.
Hey, the Poughkeepsie Film Festival is quite lovely, actually. You should.
Does that really exist? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know why I keep picking on Poughkeepsie.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I just like saying the name.
If you've been to the Poughkeepsie Film Festival, email us, AAA@twit.tv, and let us know how it is. We want to know.
What are the snacks like?
So it's called Within. Yeah, I didn't realize that they had rebranded Verse. I wonder why they did that. But
I mean, I think Verse is just a pretty terrible name. It was spelled VRSE, and I think people were just like, Vrasa?
Well, what I noticed is that it's really hard to find an app called Within. Because
that is also true. I just got
actually
an 8 cover for my mattress. It's like a smart heated cover. It's great, but it's called an 8. EIGHT 8. It's
cool, easy to find. That should be easy to find. Yeah.
Real easy.
Cool. Well, I like that app a lot. It's called Within.
Yes.
It's free.
Jason likes one of my apps. Yes.
I like all your apps.
I won the arena already. Actually, no. If Ron likes it, that's when I win.
That's the challenge, and he already said it has you too. So therefore, no go. That's enough to sway Ron. Something you need to know about Ron. He's not a U2 fan.
Actually, Ron, neither am I. And once again,
I've structured this alternate reality where they broke up after Octung Baby, and I like them.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I subscribe to that.
Yep, there you go.
All right, so that's called Within. It's free. Check it out. Content, immersive video content for your Cardboard or Daydream. I have a new for Android app. This is one of those cases where this app came out months ago on iOS. People really liked it. I think it really kind of it's very different. It's the Quartz publication app, and it's got a unique take on it. So I'll go ahead and show it here. I actually love Quartz. I love the content that they put out, the news content.
How high res is that screen, by the way? Sorry.
What's that?
I was just thinking how high res the Pixel screen was for a second there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the PPI is way high.
So I just opened up the Quartz app, and it resembles kind of a chat. It was, a very, very familiar kind of chat interface, right? It says, good evening. And I'll go ahead and warn you, there's probably not a whole lot of great content in here right now because news is scary. But it will present a news item for you. It'll give you a brief summary of that news item, usually attaches a picture either from the item itself or it pulls in from Jiffy something that is related. For example, this article from earlier this afternoon, DDoS attacks have gone from annoying outages to potential weapons of online global warfare, and it imported an animated GIF from the movie Hackers, I'm assuming is what that is. And so it kind of does that. So it's kind of, yes, it's a news app, but it also, the way that it presents this information and you kind of are in a conversation with it to get more information to decide whether you want more. So if I clicked that, I would get more about this story, or I could pass on it, choose next. It'll think about something else that's very timely right now. It looks like AirPods, Apple's new wireless headphones, aren't going to make it to many Christmas stockings this year.
Tap, come on, Apple.
With a frowny face, and I can say, come on, Apple, and then it'll give me a little bit more information. Unveiled alongside the new headphone jack, blah, 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 blah. And so it pulls out bits of information from, you can see this was pulled directly from apple.com. If I wanted to, I could tap here and it would take me through to that article on Apple. Apparently this is where I can buy AirPods if I really wanted to, which I don't. And it doesn't do this. It's not like a never-ending stream of news. At some point, you've read kind of some of the important things that are happening right now. It says, all right, check back later. But you can set up notifications on these things as in any chat app you would want, right? You would want somebody if somebody reaches out to chat you, to get a notification and know that there's something there. If you really kind of buy into Quartz's kind of unique way of delivering news, you could activate that, and then as important things happen, you'd get pulled into the conversation, decide whether you want to read more. It's just another one of those tools that makes consuming news not a 100% focused experience where you sit down and you read an entire website.
It's like a smart Twitter.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. Like really kind of pulling out. I mean, obviously, this is being chosen, this is being curated in some way.
Right.
But it's a way to not feel like you have to, like, when you're sitting down for news, you're not reading anything and everything that could possibly exist. It's more like, here's some really important things that are happening. Do you think they're important? Oh, you don't? Well, here's another thing. What do you think about this?
Also feels more palatable than just reading it on Facebook or something, right?
Yeah, potentially.
Like not as noisy, maybe?
Right, yeah. It's definitely a more focused experience than that. Because suddenly you blink and an hour's gone by. Anyways, I appreciate kind of the idea behind it. I expected to kind of be, going into it because I was like, oh, great, a news app built around kind of a chat interface. I expected to not like it, but I actually really enjoy it. It's kind of a neat, different way to consume news, essentially.
The whole world is turning to bots. This is just another example.
This is another example, exactly.
Flobot.
The Flobot. The Plight of the Flobot. Quartz, it's free. Check it out. It's finally on Android. Mark, you are up next.
I am. I'm going to show you something on my screen here.
Oh, fancy.
This is my phone. And it's only 11 degrees, and we are gonna play a game called Reigns real quick. I always bring games. They apparently have not served me well in the votes in the past, but that's okay. So the other thing that's a little controversial, this is not a free app. This is 100% paid. It's $2.99 on the Play Store. I love this game so much. I don't think you're gonna get audio through Visor, which I'm using. So Visor's also great. So I'm just going to hold my phone up here. So this is a really, really simple game. The idea is you are the king of this kingdom, and every time you die, you take over your successor, the next one. So you're constantly reigning over your kingdom. You can see there are these things you got to get done down here: unmask the senator, discover a new world, govern for at least 80 years. There's always stuff going on, and I have an active modifier right now in decreasing my population and increasing my currency. So you've got religion, your people, your military, and your money. All you do this whole time is swipe left and right. It's Tinder the game effectively. So you're the king, and you've constantly got people coming at you with stuff they need, and you need to decide how to handle it. So you can see over time, my people's going down, money's going up. So the longer it goes, so the miners are refusing to dig in the mine. They want to raise. So I can either say yes, and you can see the money's going to go down and people's going to go up. Or I can say no, and I'm going to say yes because I'm a good king, and I'd like to reign for a little while here. We heard about a princess being held against her will. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, that's obviously a trap, so we're not going to do that right now.
Oh, geez. Okay, fine.
Yeah, we're not going to deal with it. However, the South is encouraging polygamy, so we're going to send the army. They want us to bless the new churches. I'm not going to deal with that right now. The baronies are at war again. So, like, imagine, right, you're on the train, you're on a bus. You can get through one playthrough really, really quickly. You see that decision bumped my money up really, really high. When any of these four reach either max or min, the game is over, and you start over with a new reign. This guy's going to show me how to be righteous to my merchant, but I have plenty of money, so I'm just going to pay him, and I'm going to end this soon by just continuing to swipe right so that you don't have to actually sit through. Ooh, I've actually never unlocked that before. It protects you.
You win! You just solved the game! Oh, no, you
awesome.
didn't. Okay.
No, it protects you from bankruptcy, but you see what happened here is I'm protected from bankruptcy, so I can't run out of money, but I actually have too much money now. We're so rich that the country throws a party with the most expensive food that money can buy, and I eat so much that I end up choking. Everyone's super drunk from the party, and they only notice that I died the next morning. So that was a bummer. So Prince William did not make it very, very long. But luckily we have. Yeah, my reign was short. We have another chance right there next time. Great game. This is by the guys at Devolver Digital. These guys did, if you're familiar with Hotline Miami, they did that. They did Downwell. They did Talos Principle. They did Broforce. They did Genital Jousting too. But they are. They're fantastic. These games are great, and it costs $3. And I really want to encourage folks to go and spend some money on games. We have so many free games these days. It's really, really easy to go grab a game. And a lot of developers kind of feel like they have to panhandle and be like, hey, you enjoying this? Maybe could you buy me a coffee if you're liking this game? I'm a big believer in paying for things that you like. And games are one of those things that I think make us smarter, make us better. We need them in society. So pay your developers. This is a great way to do it. If you're using Google Opinion Rewards, you've got a bunch of money sitting around, give $3 to Devolver Digital, and you won't regret it.
Agreed. Love that. That is a really cool game. The funny thing is I've had this installed on my phone for weeks, and I've just never played it. But now apparently I have to. So
you should. It's great.
Looks like it's pretty easy to kind of pick up. Sometimes like I install a game because it looks cool, and then I'm like, do I really have the hour to invest in learning how to play this? And
you're done with the tutorial.
This looks like a good before bed game.
Already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
I just want
bed, bathroom, train, whatever it is.
Bathroom.
Hey, he's just saying what we're all thinking. Yeah, he's just saying what we all do. Okay.
I read a book when I was younger called Everybody Poops, and
I read that book too.
I stick true to that.
Oh, God. I worked in the children's room at the library in high school when that book came out.
What a strange correlation.
Wow. It was checked out pretty frequently then, huh? It came across your desk.
It was always out. Yeah, my job, my high school teenage job. While you guys were getting potty trained.
Did you read it? I mean, was it enlightening for you? Because it is a good read.
Well, no, I read all those books. I get very bored at the children's room.
It was like the first book on
on that. Yeah, we have it. Yeah, it's still a thing.
You could still use that?
It's still a thing.
Oh,
we got it when our
it hasn't changed. Really
everybody still poops.
The underlying technology is still the same. So
yeah.
All right, we got Mac and Josh to laugh, so we know we've done it.
Good job, Mac and Josh.
All right, Ron, it's your turn. I have it installed.
All right, excellent. It has been a while since I've come to you guys with a wacky app, and here we go. I actually had this downloaded for months now and meant to bring it to the arena earlier, but it always got bumped. And I was like, I can't go this year without getting this app in. This was actually an Android experiment. Do you remember those earlier this year, pre-IO, where they challenged people to do Android experiments? Yep. This is a launcher. And not only is it an Android experiment, but it ties into some of our conversations earlier this year about the app draw or lack of an app draw. This is called Lens Launcher. And what it is it basically is an app that it's a launcher that allows you to have all of your apps on one screen.
What?
Oh my God.
So what is happening?
So what it does is it's got an algorithm to do what they call equispace, and it's equispaces out all of your apps. And then you have a gesture control on top of the app icons of basically a fisheye lens. And by you see Jason doing there, moving his finger around the screen, you can zoom in and see the apps in that quadrant. And that's how you can access them as a launcher.
Oh my is it just me, or is this the watchOS interface?
Yeah.
It's just the watchOS interface.
So now what's neat about it is, Jason, can you get into the configuration for the app, the settings?
How do I do that?
Launch the app itself.
Can you find it?
Hold on. What is it's called? Lens Launcher.
Lens Launcher.
There's Lift. You're close.
Watch, last fast.
No. Oh man.
It should be before Lift.
Luminous is such a good game too.
Where is it? Oh, that's crazy. Well, anyway.
There it is. It's over on the edge. Okay,
cool. So now in here, what you can do is you can alter the icon size. You can also alter the distortion factor, right? It basically just gives you all the controls over that grid of all the stuff. You can change the scale, that sort of thing. Well, you can also so in this screen you're modifying the lens itself by how it is accessing. See what that looks like. Then if you go to the middle menu, go to the apps, what you can do is you can change the order of apps and their visibility. So if you've got all those apps but you don't want to show them all, you can just tap the eyeball to not show an app, or you can tap and drag to change the order of them. By default it goes alphabetical, but you can rearrange them if you like, right? And then under the settings tab, if you click on the next tab, that's where you get all the other access to it. So you can change the icon pack. You can change the wallpaper here. You can change the highlight color here. The default is a red. You can also put in some other kind of little haptic aspects to it, where you can vibrate when you're hovering over the apps or vibrate on an app launch. And also you can choose whether you want to show the name of the app when you hover it or not. So it's just crazy. I love it because it's insane. Look at that. It's insane. It's like do you remember the million pixel?
Yes, that's what I was just gonna say. That's exactly what it is.
So if you're looking for a crazy launcher, it's been a while. I know it's not a crazy keyboard, but it's a crazy launcher. Lens Launcher is the one to check out. And if you go to the Google Play Store page, they've got actually references and links because it was an Android experiment. So they've got access to the fisheye lens algorithm as well as some other credits. And the whole source of it is available up on GitHub. So if you want to play with it, you can check it out. So.
Wow, let's see here.
Neato.
I'm gonna go.
Isn't that crazy? I love it.
Let's see here. So icon size really small.
So Ron, there was a question. What happens if you hide an app? How do you get to it?
You gotta unhide it.
You could phone search. You could phone search it.
Yeah, you can search it. Yeah, you can search for it. Yeah, or contextual. Click a link to launch it or something like that. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a widget, how do you do that too here? Like you don't. Right. That's the idea. Is you don't do it the normal way because you're all
because you're not normal.
I can't imagine this is something that you would use on a daily basis, but it is funny to see and it's neat. And look at that. That just, I mean, when you pulled it up, that was priceless. It was.
I'm gonna do this to my mom's phone over Christmas and ruin.
This is a trick that you play on somebody.
Yeah,
set this up and then you walk away and see what happens.
Oh, that's like what I did. That's like what I did to years ago at my first job. The guy sitting next to me at the cube next to me was super annoying, and so one morning we're on Windows machines, and I took a screenshot of his desktop.
Yes,
and then I took all of the icons and I put them in a folder, and then left his machine there. he went until 2:30 in the afternoon before he called IT because he was able to reboot his machine and that automatically launched email. And so from there he could click on a link which would launch the browser, but anything else he was stuck and he couldn't. And so finally at 2:30 he's like, "That's it, I'm calling the help desk." And I was like, "No, don't call the help desk."
So that is, dude. Many a classic prank has been pranked that way. That is one of my favorite things to do for sure.
Yep. That was probably my favorite. My second favorite prank at that job was when there was a woman who I didn't like who I worked with. So I set Microsoft Outlook to whenever an email came in from her, it automatically forwarded it back to her, and then deleted it. And so she was like,
"Oh, you're a jerk."
She came to my desk and she's like, Ron, I've been trying to email you for like a week and it keeps bouncing back. I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. We should talk to IT about that. I don't know why. I didn't get it."
Wow, Ron's a jerk.
Gosh.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad I never worked with Ron in an office
Listen, the .com boom was a crazy time.
Yeah, that much is true. Josh, next to this week's poll is an orange link. Go ahead and pull that up if you don't mind. It is the milliondollarhomepage.com, which was linked to in the chat room. And the similarities between this and the launcher are really striking. It's really very similar. It's too bad this doesn't
date tonight.
Wait, is that Ron in the middle of it?
I was just gonna say, like my Twitter icon is there.
Yeah.
That's Ron's Twitter icon.
It is not me.
Right next to the free domain.
Yeah.
What a brilliant idea this was too. Seriously. Yeah. This was one of those things that you were like, "Man, why did I do that?"
Yeah, it was genius.
Did that person make $1 million?
Yeah, as far as I remember.
$1 per pixel.
$1 per pixel.
Yep. Bit.ly/AAA vote 296 is where you can go to place your vote in a election that won't change anything with the outcome of this year's winner, which is already the guest. But you can go there, place your vote.
Isn't that a beautiful allegory?
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Quartz lens launcher within
who
range.
is Josh going to vote for?
That's a really
good Josh. Who are you voting for?
Yeah, Josh. Who is Josh voting for?
He can't vote. He's great. He's grayed out. He's got to change his user.
Why?
Got to change the user.
Because he's an iOS user. He can't even get these apps.
I can't. I was gonna click on Reigns.
Oh. Well, Mark, that's one for Reigns, and he's an iOS user. So
I'm counting it. Well, if everybody could just tweet me directly, if instead of voting, I'll do the counting manually.
Oh yeah, we can trust you to count those manually.
That's a good idea.
This is why he's gonna lose because I couldn't click.
Just only send me the votes for Reigns. Just only send me the votes for Reigns and don't worry about the rest.
Don't worry about it.
Jeez.
He's got it.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun, Mark. Thanks so much for coming on again, and thank you for your speech on behalf of all other guests. We will play that speech for every single guest.
We should see what the guests like. Like, do you have anything to add?
Yes.
Just play it for them, and when they're like, "Who is this guy?" You can be like a guy you're watching right now.
Yeah, he's the guy you're watching right now. Mark Bursteiner.
Yes.
Which I will try not to get that wrong the next time we have you on. I apologize about that.
Okay.
Tell people where they should follow all the stuff you're doing online.
Yeah, so I am finally back all getting content made. I published a Pixel review that I think was well received, which I very much appreciate on YouTube. And YouTube is the place that you should go. YouTube.com/my name right down there. Twitter, I'm going to be streaming on YouTube Gaming, actually, I think, tomorrow. I'm going to try that out. So that profile is definitely the one you want to keep an eye on.
Excellent. That is at Mark B.
That's correct, on the tweets.
On the tweets and the Twitters and the stuff. Thanks again, Mark. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thanks the audience for dealing with me.
Absolutely. We'll deal with you another time. We'll deal with you some other time. Florence, what about you?
Well, as always, you can find me writing on AndroidCentral.com, and you can find me on Snapchat and Twitter at OhThatFlow. And also stay tuned to the official Android Central the official Snapchat and Instagram for Android Central, where I will be manning the helm.
Excellent.
Womaning the helm.
Womaning the helm.
Personing.
Womaning the helm.
Personing.
No, I want a woman the helm.
Okay.
all right?
Yeah, she wants the woman the helm.
I'm repping my gender.
Excellent. Stay tuned for that. Ron, what about you?
Yes, you can, as always, you can follow me on twitter.com/RonXO. But most importantly, check out my new podcast. Me and Tom Merritt are revisiting and reanalyzing Twin Peaks in advance of the new season that's coming in 2017. You can get that. It's called the Damn Fine Podcast, and you can get that at damnfinepodcast.com. Episode 4 comes out tomorrow. And we are having a great time. We're starting to have some guests later in this month. We have our first guest. And it's going to be, we're going to go into the new year, start season 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're a Twin Peaks fan, definitely check it out. damnfinepodcast.com.
I mean, the more I think about this, the more it's brilliant the way that you guys are doing this, because you're going to have all this practice, all this warm up leading up to when the season finally kicks off. And then people are going to be so tuned into it that they're going to be like, I need to find a show that talks all about Twin Peaks. You will have already gone through all the history. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Idea.
It's brilliant. Yeah. And I really like podcasting with Tom Merritt because it makes me feel like I'm awful. So, which is fun because he's so great at it. He's just perfect. So So
he's kind of professional podcaster at this point. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Ron.
Yep.
What about you, Mac and Josh?
Oh, not much.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. I'm going to officially change the pronunciation of my last name so that way you can pronounce it correctly.
To Windich.
To Windich. I'm going to change it to Windich because that's...
I always get it wrong. I always say Windich, and I don't know why.
I think it's just going to be easier for me to just change my last name pronunciation.
Good. I think that you totally should do that.
Where can we find your birds?
Oh, yeah, my birds. Well, they're at my house. So you can...
On the internet.
So come on over. My address is...
On the internet. No one wants to come to the...
you know what? I should make... So I'm on Instagram, and I basically only post pictures of my birds. It's like all I do.
They're cute.
I'm the Mac and Josh on Instagram. I should actually make an account for them.
You should.
Because now I have like just dozens and dozens of bird people following me. Like bird accounts are following my account. It's like, and I follow them back. So now all I see when I go into Instagram is just bird.
The internet is just communities.
Yeah, why is that a problem, dude? You're getting exposure. That's
it's
the
great.
hustle.
It's great, but I feel like maybe I should, I should have them have their own presences accounts.
Oh, well,
your birds want to have their own brands.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like they should
bird
be
brands.
Bird brands.
All these other people have brands for their, on their social media things and.
I think you know what you need to do this next week, leading into the holiday. Maybe if you have spare time over the holidays, you can work with your birds to set up some bird brands. On social media networks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Make some deliverables, birds.
I expect a lot from you, birds. Come on, output. Come on, product.
Tweet.
You know what this means? It means I have to get more birds too.
Yeah.
To keep this up.
Yep, exactly.
I'll have to get on that too.
Now you know. You can find me at about.me/Jason Howell. Follow my music at yellowgoldmusic.com. 2 important things. One, twit.tv/newsletter. Because we do a newsletter. And
it's good.
Actually, 3 things. Twit.tv/newsletter. Subscribe to it. See what we're up to on the network.
It's good.
Number 2, best of submissions. I'm still working on the All About Android best
Help
of.
Jason.
I'm pretty disappointed in the amount of best ofs, but that's okay because I'm scrubbing through the episodes anyways. But twit.tv/best of to submit your favorite moments. Maybe it was from today's episode. We had a lot of moments in today's episode. Send that to me and for all of our other shows, and it will help us in putting together a great show for you for the last week of the year. And finally, teespring.com/twit. If you want to find our new Twit Army gear, you can see there it was designed in-house by Anthony Nielsen. Shirts, hoodies, all different types of clothes sporting this awesome logo. Check it out. If you order by December 15th, the shirts will arrive before Christmas, and that is teespring.com/twit. But that, as they say, is that for this episode of All About Android. Leave us a voicemail, 347-SHOW-AAA. Send us an email or video mail. We don't get those anymore. What, you don't love us anymore? You never send us your video mail anymore.
Call.
AAA@twit.tv. We are at Android Show on Twitter. We are twitaaa.reddit.com on, Reddit. Show notes and past episodes can be found at twit.tv/AAA. You can also find our episodes on YouTube, iTunes, Pocket Cast, and all over the map. And catch us live every Tuesday starting sometime around 5:30 p.m. Pacific at twit.tv/live. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week on another episode of All About Android. See you later, folks.